welcome to my political show, Kavindu Political Times, second episode of season 4. Today we're going to talk about can Joe Biden make a difference or not, and the challenges he's going to face. Before starting the show, I want you to hit the like button and subscribe to my show. Now let's get the main thing started now. Alright, now we know the challenges that Joe Biden would face significantly. First, he doesn't have a Senate in his favor, while the House is a basically majority. I guess he's up against more political unravel than any president did in the recent history. I guess the last president had that scenario could be George W. Bush, but that's not really comparable on that department. But biggest challenge for Joe Biden is to really get the three quotas right. National unity, economic, and the pandemic. These are the three main factors that he has to address, I would say, to get the fixation just right of the country. Fix the issue. That's the key. Let's start with the main issue, the pandemic. The pandemic was mainly done by the Republicans, you could argue, by encouraging people not to wear masks. So, the Republicans have not put financial stimulus to help the people who are suffering with the pandemic. And the pandemic, and also people's lack of care towards the pandemic has been a major problem. And while Joe Biden, who promised to keep the pandemic in control, is now looking to take control of it, but was denied by the GSA for the transition to happen on the daily briefs, but now the GSA has finally approved. So, he will be able to control the pandemic. I can confidently say he will able to control the pandemic at least 50%, and 100% by the time he gets to office when the time comes next year. He will make it. But the biggest thing Joe Biden must consider is the United States is not going to welcome a national lockdown. It would be really unlikely that a national lockdown would be favored in the United States. So he has to find a way another. The benefit for Joe Biden is that there is a vaccine. So the vaccine should help him out, and Donald Trump is not taking credit for it, but it's not. It's no one's credit, but it's about the execution and the timeline, and Joe Biden will get the vaccine, not Donald Trump. And of course, while the pandemic might be controllable for him, the biggest challenge for him is the economy. That's now not collapse, but struggling under Donald Trump. One of his key tools for the election turned out to be a complete hoax. His weakness was the economy. He didn't bring new jobs. We have no new jobs at all anyway. People are unemployed. Small businesses are dying out. And the Senate have not yet approved a financial stimulus to support the struggling businesses. So again, what the hell? So Joe Biden has a serious challenge there. The first thing he must do is stimulus bill, of course. But he must encourage people to start spending money again. That's how traditionally the US economies have recovered from financial recessions. Make them spend money. And can Joe Biden make it happen? Yes, he can. However, he has a Republican House probably. Again, we don't know whether Democrat, but if it's Republican Senate, then good luck, Joe Biden. You have to work twice as harder to get it right. But he's a man who has a political vision. He can do it. But of course, another factor of the economy is that getting the employment situation solved as well. Finding jobs that doesn't sort of interfere with the pandemic control. So means to control the pandemic and create jobs, which would be a challenge for the United States, because how do you do that? That's a Joe Biden's big challenge. And I believe his economic team would be fully capable of that. Since we know the team, they are a familiar team and we know how capable they are. But the financial stimulus would be the most important factor for Joe Biden. He has to get it passed. Whether we like it or not, he has to get it passed. It's simple as daylight. He must. But another big challenge for Joe Biden in the economic philosophy is quite simple. It's the stock market. Don't act on the stock market, President Biden. Just don't. The market might say sometimes good, but its reality isn't. But while the economy. So the economy is something Joe Biden will have to control. And for that he will need a Democratic Senate to make things easier. If not, he has to use the word executive order so many more times than Obama did under the current political circumstances. The third factor which he has to focus on is, of course, national unity. Now, national unity is sort of a factor that people are deeply talking about. We have a country that's deeply divided. Trump supporters, Biden supporters. This is a serious situation we are facing. Trump supporters have not accepted Biden as their president. Biden supporters are talking and criticizing the Trump supporters, and we got lack of national unity. And that's the main thing Joe Biden must do. Then the first two factors. We can solve economy, we can solve pandemic, but if there is no national unity, it does not matter. But the biggest challenge is how can you make national unity when the Republican Party is defined by Donald Trump and racism? It's difficult. And the biggest concern, if you think about it, the biggest challenge is for the Republican governors who have been forced by Donald Trump to overturn election results, which they know they don't want to do because it's illegal. You can't do that. It's illegal and it should not be done. And I applaud for the Republican governors in Georgia and Arizona for standing up to President Trump and not caving in. You are a protector of democracy. But of course, the biggest fact is bringing all race and religions together. And that's challenging considering the previous president told that Mexicans were rapists and murderers. Well, I guess the challenge for Joe Biden is getting all those people together. But that's not going to be easy for him because that's going to be the challenge. But then again, we know he can succeed. His campaign mantra have always been unity, just like Abraham Lincoln said. Well, unlike Abraham Lincoln, I think he might succeed. But of course, that's not going to be the challenge. And you've got Fox News going around spitting about misinformation, then you get my point more than anything else. So I'm going to end the show. On the upcoming episode, I give you a hint. Actually, I will straightforwardly say, we're going to talk about Joe Biden's his own future as well. Come up on the episode. So thank you for joining this show. Hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you very much.